The Douglas DC-3 would be the grand old lady of our collection in our hangar number 2 here. She's 80 years old. After its manufacture, it was sold to the Dutch airline KLM in Holland, where it was handed over to the KLM subsidiary KNILM. It was used on the Amsterdam to Batavia route. Batavia, of course, is now Jakarta. Now, of course, along came the Pacific War, when Japan entered the war and started storming all over Southeast Asia, and our aircraft took off on an evacuation to Australia, and we ended up in Port Hedland in Western Australia. So the USAF took over the aircraft, and what's the first thing they did? Loaned out DC-3 to the RAAF for troop transport. Did General MacArthur ever fly in our aircraft? Well, we're pretty sure he did. We've done a lot of research on this, and this possibly occurred during a time just after the aircraft arrived in Australia and it was transferred to the United States Air Force, and he was waiting for his own personal aircraft to be delivered from America, a brand shiny new aircraft which they named Shiny Sheila, believe it or not. A letter arrived from a retired Colonel Henry Godman, which stated that he recalled actually flying MacArthur from Melbourne to Canberra in the KLM DC-3. This was possibly to attend a war conference organised by Prime Minister John Curtin. Now, this to us establishes fairly firmly that yes, indeed, General Douglas MacArthur during World War II did fly in our aircraft. It was taken up to Townsville and it was used up there, and they used it up there until January of 1944, when it was flown to Melbourne and went back into its civilian role with Australian National Airways, ANA. And it was there that it was named OANA, which is the name it has to this day, and was given the registration number VH-ANR. In 1959, it was then transferred to Airlines of New South Wales, and it was painted up in Airlines of New South Wales livery. In 1972, it ended its stint with Airlines of New South Wales, and in 1972 was transferred to private ownership. And was gifted to QAM in February of 1994, and there we repainted it in the Airlines of New South Wales livery, restored the registration number and the name, and it sits at Hangar 2 to this day.